Shalom, family. How are you? Welcome to the Yali Podcast, where it's not really a podcast, but we do talk about Yahweh and doing His commandments. And maybe occasionally we talk about news, tech, maybe Minecraft, because I like to play a little Minecraft. Family, today we're going to talk about Sarah, who is the wife of Abraham. See, the God of our fathers gave Sarah a name change. That doesn't happen too often in scripture, but when it does, it's a very honorable occasion. It means something. It's a big deal. So what did Sarah do in her lifetime to get this prestigious honor? And today, that's what we're gonna talk about. So let's get into it. All praises to the God of our fathers, which strengthened us. See, Sarah did several things to show her undying, unwavering love for the Most High, all of which boil down to her obeying Abraham. Now, if the word obey is a little too crunchy for you, I get it. I understand the time we live in. Let me read you some synonyms. Accept, adhere to, carry out, comply, embrace, execute, heed, live by, observe, surrender, accede, accord, acquiesce, agree, answer, assent, concur, discharge, follow, fulfill, keep, mind, perform, respond, serve, submit, abide by, listen to. Hopefully one of those words made it a little less crunchy for you. Let's keep going. See, family, in Genesis, the 3rd chapter, the Most High tells Eve that because of her portion of the sin between her and her husband Adam, her desire would be perpetually to her husband. Now, whether or not this is a curse, that's debatable, but clearly that's what God wanted. Now fast forward to Genesis, the 12th chapter, verses 11 through 13. Abraham and Sarah are going through Egypt, and Abraham tells Sarah to lie and say, "You're my sister," so that the Egyptians won't look at you and be like, "You're beautiful," and then kill me and then take you. So let's read. Genesis chapter 12, 11 through 13. And it came to pass, when he was come near to enter into Egypt, that he said unto Sarai his wife, "Behold, look, I know that thou art a fair woman. You're bad, you're super fine. Therefore it shall come to pass, when the Egyptians shall see thee, that they shall say, This is his wife. And they will kill me, but they will save thee alive. Say, I pray thee, thou art my sister, that it may be well with me for thy sake, and my soul shall live because of thee." So he asks her to lie to keep himself alive. And Sarah did what he asked. How do we know? Because he was still alive. So point number 1, Sarah obeyed, or whatever synonym you put in place to not think that the word obeyed is super crunchy. Now let's talk about the second thing she did, the second habit that she had. Sarah did not embarrass her husband. I think as a man, one of the worst qualities to deal with when it comes to the opposite sex is dealing with a woman who is completely okay with embarrassing you. If your husband is doing something wrong, you should feel the freedom to let him know that he's doing something wrong, or you should feel okay with expressing and explaining to him, "Hey babe, you're doing something wrong." Just like you wouldn't always want someone to tell you what you're doing wrong in front of people, you should be mindful to make sure that your husband's image is always upkept. You see, Abraham was a leader of a great multitude, a great congregation. When his nephew Lot was taken, he went with many, many men to go and get Lot back. And so Sarah had this great responsibility to where at any moment she could have said or done something that would have undermined his reputation to the congregation. Hell, she could have even done small things that embarrassed him to the point where it just ruined his self-esteem and he could have become a terrible leader. Women oftentimes don't realize the power of the purpose of being a wife. But not Sarah. See, David's first wife, Michal, could never. She wouldn't even let that man dance naked in front of the Lord. See, there was a point where Abraham was approached by 3 men, and one of the men prophesied and said that Sarah was gonna have his baby. And Sarah laughed inside her heart and said, "Nah, I'm too old." And we're gonna read a little bit about that in Genesis, the 18th chapter, verses 10 through 16. And it reads, "And he said, I will certainly return unto thee according to the time of life. And lo, Sarah thy wife shall have a son. And Sarah heard it in the tent door which was behind him. Now Abraham and Sarah were old and well stricken in age, and it ceased to be with Sarah after the manner of women. Therefore Sarah laughed within herself, saying, After I am waxed old shall I have pleasure, my Lord being old also. And the Lord said unto Abraham, Wherefore did Sarah laugh, saying, Shall I of a surety bear a child, which am old? Is anything too hard for the Lord? At the time appointed I will return unto thee according to the time of life, and Sarah shall have a son. Then Sarah denied laughing. I laughed not, for she was afraid. And he said, Nay, but thou didst laugh. And the men rose up from thence and looked toward Sodom. And Abraham went with them to bring them on the way. So even though the Lord told Abraham that she laughed, her intention was never to embarrass her husband. For even in her heart, when she did not believe, she still believed in him. All praises to the God of our fathers, which strengthen us. Shalom. And until next time.